I think I'm up here unless we pass it. Those are the rules. Welcome, everyone. This is July the 8th, 2019. Welcome. So first is the roll call.
Yes, Mayor Hurley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem King.
Here.
Alderperson Blanks.
Here.
Duncan.
Here.
Dunn. Here. Noah.
Here.
And Mathis is absent.
He's here. He's coming up the stairs slowly.
Slowly. Okay.
He'll be here in a minute.
We're very pleased Reverend Don Dixon is with us this evening. Ask Reverend Dixon to step to the podium and offer our invocation. Ask everyone to please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Reverend Dixon, the floor is yours.
Let us pray. During this month, O God, when we celebrate the birth of our nation, we pause on this occasion to give thee thanks for being part of this community of Tullahoma. Pray that thou would give blessings and guidance to those who have been selected to lead us. Help all of us to remember that we're all of this in together, and may decisions and those things that needs to be decided be done in a way that would be helpful for the common good. And in this midst, draw us closer as citizens to the goals and the understanding that has made our nation great. Hear our prayer. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Join me as we pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Amen.
I'm supposed to say, what do I say now?
All hail Caesar.
Let's see, we have no commendations or certificates, but we do have a recognition tonight. So I'll ask Mrs. Moody to step to the podium and recognize a special individual tonight.
We do. This is a very special individual to both of us. Tonight, I am honored to recognize Robin Morrison. She's the administrative assistant to Mayor Curley and myself, and she could have been nominated by me, but she wasn't. She was actually nominated by a coworker who recognized the same things that probably all of us do: her great attitude, how she's a joy to work with. She was nominated by Ari Dykes in our city recorder's office, and she said, "I nominate Robin Morrison for Employee of the Month. She always has a great attitude. She doesn't push work onto others. She addresses people herself and is always very upfront with helping people on the phone. She's always good with employees and citizens alike. She's always helpful in letting the other employees know what's going on around the office, and for instance, who's going to be out of the office, who's going to a meeting. She goes above and beyond to provide assistance to anyone who needs it, whether it's a citizen or a coworker. She exemplifies teamwork and has served to back up human resources when needed. She treats everyone with respect and is always professional, even in difficult circumstances." And I can certainly attest to that. She's been a huge relief since I've started. As you can imagine, most of the time, if a citizen's decided to pick up the phone and call the mayor or the city administrator, it's because they've tried many other avenues before that and are pretty frustrated. And Robin is great about not only calming them down, but most of the time the call never makes it to either one of us because she's helped them through the issue. So I appreciate her. She's invaluable. And most of all, I just love, she always has a smile on her face. She's always so positive and just a joy to work with. So please come up, Robin. It's funny, we've had so many groups recently.
Okay, I'm not too good at this, but I do appreciate the recognition. I do enjoy my job, and I always try to have the most positive attitude My husband is here with me. I'd like to introduce him, Tim Morrison. So anyway, thank you so much for this.
You understand what causes this, don't you?
What?
It's this great board that you have to work with.
I enjoy each and every one of you, all of the different boards that I've worked with. It's a nice, I'm just so nervous, I don't even know what I'm saying. I do appreciate it, though. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all you do.
Ms. Morrison has really come a long way. I remember several years ago, I asked her to speak on my behalf at something, and she pretty much said no. And now to stand up on TV and address the group, I thought she did an excellent job.
Yes, you
tonight.
did.
Yeah, so much improved. Yes. And I personally second everything that Ms. Moody said. So
Yes,
we do appreciate you
absolutely.
very much.
Absolutely. Yes.
Did you get that?
Yes. And I've seen her as well. I mean,
No, all the motions that.
all
Yeah.
motions.
Yes.
At the front counter.
We all concur.
Unbelievable. She can just
Absolutely.
calm someone down.
That is a wonderful trait, to be able to diffuse somebody either on the phone or in person. It's wonderful. I wished I had more of that.
She does a wonderful job.
Yes.
She helps us all. We appreciate it very, very much.
Okay, we're ready for citizen comment. Anyone in the audience wish to address the board at this time on a matter not later on the agenda? Yes, sir.
Maybe I ought to just address it to her, she can get it done.
That's what, if you send it to me, I'm going to send it to Ms. Morrison.
No,
So
I live out in Prince Properties.
let me ask you to step to the podium, please, sir. And just for the record, your name and address, please.
Corpus here on 301 Marks Avenue in Prince Properties. I got a little deal there where there's a right-of-way to a field that belongs to Prince. They do a lot of growing of stuff. But it's a 50-foot easement from off of Marks Avenue into that field. Well, I have a neighbor that's been there a couple of years. He's remodeled his house, all fine and dandy. But he's had a pile of dirt, rocks, concrete, and leaves out there by Marks Avenue. Part of it's in the easement, that 50-foot easement that goes to that field. And nobody ever does anything about it. He don't move it. He says he's going to move it. He don't move it. I thought Butch goes by there every day. I thought maybe he'd get a city truck or something over there to remove it. Well, I've been looking at it for over a year, and I'm getting tired of looking at it.
Well, thank you for
So
being
see
here
if
tonight.
anything
Yeah.
can get done, but I'd like you say, maybe I ought to call her. And
Sure. So, Ms. Morrison, if you would, no, Mrs. Moody, if you speak to Ms. Moody after the meeting and get the correct address.
Who?
City Administrator. Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Anyone else? Tim, anything to say? You good? No, sir. Okay. Ready for board reports. Mr. Mathis.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Had the opportunity the other night to go to the fireworks event, and it's more than just fireworks anymore. I was very, very, very impressed with what, let's see, today I had an individual say to me, that was by far the best I have ever seen anything that the city put on. I didn't go that far, but I just said, well, it was outstanding, and it was. A lot of people enjoyed it, and I talked to the winners of the cornhole, and they said, this right here is unreal. It's unreal. I watched them. I just watched them for a minute. I'm not going to play with them because they was one right after another hitting those holes, one right after another. And I said, well, but it was outstanding. We had a good event. Jimmy Bratcher and his group, as far as the sports council, outstanding job.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Another Glick. Brooks.
And Mr. Glick wasn't here, but their group was
Production.
everywhere.
Yeah.
He's still recuperating. Mr. Glick is still recuperating.
I can understand. It was really nice.
It was nice. I agree. Thank you, Mr. Mathis. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yesterday I attended Mayor Gary Cordell, County Mayor Gary Cordell's and Mrs. Cordell, Charlotte Cordell's 50th wedding anniversary. And it was a grand event, and of course you know Mayor Cordell is still recuperating from surgery, heart surgery, and he's on the mend, so we're always in prayer for him. We attended a Dream Tullahoma meeting since our last board meeting, and I just came back from Manchester to the election commission was certifying the election machine, so I just came back from that, and I'm working on the Davidson Academy School reunion, which will happen August the 2nd through the 4th. We're getting a lot of calls in from people all across the country that are coming back that went to school here and they went out to do their own thing and live their lives and make their fortunes and everything. And a lot of them are coming back they want to come back home and just see the folks. And they do this every now and then, but we've got some that have never been back that are coming back this year. Of course, we're all getting older too, and I guess that could be the last pilgrimage for some of us. You know, we never know. So, at the University of the South project I was working on did culminate on right after the 4th of July. There's a recovery program trying to recover part of Sewanee's history, and this has been going on for the last 6 months. So I've been working with the history department up there on that. Tomorrow, the Coffee County Industrial Board will, with the assistance of the program is from TVA. It's a TVA program. I don't know if everybody's heard about it or not, but everybody get emails on that? Okay. All right, well then that's I wouldn't bother that one then, but that's sounds like a good event to be at tomorrow. I did Sunday at church. I got it's a copy of the letter from the Johnson City Schools, who are honoring. Actually, they're putting him, gentleman, in the Hall of Fame. Their Hall of Fame. He was a former coach here. My former coach when I was just a kid, small kid. They lived across the street from us. Paul Chrisman, and it's been a long time. He's been a long time gone from here, but I ran across some of his induction records into the Army. Somebody sent me where he was inducted into the Army at Camp Forest here, and I remember him as a kid, and they're inducting him in their Hall of Fame, so that is a great honor for his family. Most of them have died out, but he still has some local folks. So that's pretty much it.
Good, thank you. Dr. Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. Since our last meeting, there's been quite a few meetings that I've been associated with. Also, the 4th of July celebration was wonderful. If you go around town and look at, it's not only a Tullahoma thing, it draws people in from all over the area. So kudos to everybody that was involved in that. You did a great job. Also participated along with a few others up here in the dedication of the TUA solar array. It's out on Spring Creek Road next to the North Substation. So we have a solar bank out there that took us about 1.5 years or 2 years to get that all situated, but drive out there sometime. It's a neat deal that we can have an alternative way of producing power. Also had a Duck River meeting, nothing out of the ordinary there. We still have plenty of water in Normandy Reservoir, and it tastes pretty good, so drink up. Also had a TUB meeting as well. Everything with the utility is running fairly smoothly. They're getting ready to start the sewer rehabilitation project out on Wilson Avenue. So that is starting to, I don't know if you've been out there, you can see some of the lines that are stacked up and getting ready to be installed. So be aware of that when you cruise out Wilson Avenue, they'll be working on that area. We're also +3 for last month on Light to sign up, so we're well on our way to being It's either over 3,000 or over 4,000, so that'll happen soon. And the last thing I have to say is shop Tullahoma if you can. Appreciate it. And school will be starting before you know it. 3 weeks.
Is that right, 3 weeks?
I think the end of this month, beginning of August, right? Who has kids?
August 1st.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. King?
I too attended the fireworks, and kudos to everyone involved. It was really, really nice. It has been for the past several years, but it's really interesting and enjoyable to see all the little ones to be able to enjoy it. They may cover their ears and yell and scream, but they're enjoying it immensely. So, along with us elders, so it's a lot of fun. So, I too say shop Tullahoma. We have a lot of new restaurants, several new restaurants. The Whiskey Trails and also the Sundrop Shop. So go into our new restaurants, support what we have here. We need to be very grateful that they've decided to spend their money here, and they're wonderful places to visit. So, and there's other things as well. So we appreciate everything that they're doing. So
Good
thank
message.
you.
Thank you. Mrs. Dunn?
I went to the 4th of July celebration also, and it was wonderful. So thank you all the people who were involved with that, and I know Mayor Curley has worked really hard to get our sponsors involved. So I know we couldn't have done it without you and getting those sponsors involved. So I appreciate that. I wanted to remind the public that we do have a public hearing on July 2nd in regards to the commercial use that's allowable for C1 and C2, and I know Lou Lawson's worked really hard on that, and Miss Moody. And I think it's going to be really important because of just things that we've experienced this past year, and that people have a chance to talk about what they want to see in those particular zones. So I think that's a really good thing we're having going. Tomorrow at Chick-fil-A, there's a drive-in from 5 to 8, and it's going to be benefiting, and I'm going to say the wrong acronym, but it's Children's Services for children who, what is it?
CASA?
No, it's not CASA, sorry. But it's for children with special needs in their infancy. So it's an in-home care. So that's a really, really good program that is partially funded through the Department of Education, but mainly funded through donations. So anybody who can go out would be awesome. And then the Go Green team, we're on August 5th. We're having a meeting at 5 o'clock, and that is going to be a big celebration. We've got Linda Johnson is coming from the Duck River Agency, and she is going to be talking about rain barrels, and she's going to be giving away 25 rain barrel kits to whoever comes, and it's going to be right here in this room. So I want to encourage as many people to come out as we can. So we're starting to really kind of address, this is a problem that I think this is something that we can solve in our own backyard. So that's one way to do it, is through rain barrels. And then the Domestic Violence Task Force, we are teaming up with the Art Center, and we are going to have a survivors display in September. So that's something that's going on. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. Lots of good things.
Thank you. You said July 2nd, a public hearing.
22nd. Did I say second?
Yeah.
I apologize.
If you did,
22nd.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good. Just wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Mr. Nellis?
Okay, since our last meeting, I had the opportunity to attend TML in Memphis. It was, as usual, a very informative meeting. You bring back a lot of best practices from other communities that we've talked about. Prior to that, we did have a Dream Tullahoma meeting, as Alderman Duncan alluded to, but I want to express an appreciation to TUA for relocating a couple of the F-16 airplanes down on Atlantic Street. They had relocated the power poles down on Atlantic Street, leaving a big steel crisscross post with two little airplanes on it, which looked sort of out of place as they were, but they have removed those, put them on the new poles, and they look very good, so we appreciate TUA for doing that. We'll be attending the ACC in the morning, 8 o'clock, and tomorrow evening, a airport authority meeting.
Good, thank you.
Yes, and I would like to say,
Yes, sir.
yes, I attended the fireworks, and yes, it was great. So I want to make it unanimous around it. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience for Tullahoma.
It was for the entire region, as we mentioned earlier. But let me say, we Mr. Glick, Ms. Moody, Mr. Brooks, they're sort of on the front line of that, but there's a whole team of people that they work with to make that happen. And I think it needs to be said that everybody worked really, really hard to pull that off. And as far as I could tell, it's probably the largest one in a long, long time. So because of the length of the last board meeting, I did not present my State of the City address. So with your indulgence, I'll do that now. And thanks to my eye doctor, I can now read it without taking off my glasses. To the board, mayor, and aldermen, and the citizens of Tullahoma, for the 17th time, I present a budget message and State of the City to you as mayor. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss the economic vitality of Tullahoma, as well as some of the achievements that have shaped our community this past year. I will also highlight some of the initiatives we have to look forward to in the coming year. I am pleased to report the city government enjoys a bond rating of AA2, one of the highest in the state for a community our size. Your city government earned the GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Management, as well as the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, one of the few cities in Tennessee to have that distinction. These are independent and objective measures of how your tax monies are managed and measured for transparent financial reporting. This budget represents a fiscally responsible and conservative approach to the use of your tax dollars. I appreciate the leadership of City Administrator Jennifer Moody and Finance Director Sue Wilson for their professional approach in managing the fiscal affairs of city government. I also appreciate all department heads for their leadership and management of the day-to-day affairs in their departments. Now to the budget before you. This budget represents our best effort at preserving, managing, and building the assets of Tullahoma, whether these are people, buildings, or programs. I welcome the board's and citizens' suggestions and offers of improvement. The budget as proposed contains no property tax increase for the next fiscal year and is balanced. As Tullahoma grows, it is important for city government to support the services needed. This year's budget includes a new public works superintendent position, a full-time permit tech in planning and codes, and an upgrade to a full-time laborer position in Parks and Rec. These positions will upgrade customer service and community attractiveness. This budget will also fund a regional tourism strategy, enhance downtown marketing programs, increase funding for the administrative hearing officer position, purchase new equipment for the police and fire departments, supports the 2020 census, AOPA fly-in, and provides for a $500,000 THDA home grant program to assist Tullahoma homeowners with critical home repairs. Site work continues on the addition to the Tullahoma Business Air Park, and sidewalk repairs throughout the community are ongoing. This budget does not provide a net increase in direct funding to Tullahoma City Schools. However, $300,000 in support was shifted from the school debt sinking fund into their general purpose fund. This action gives the school board greater flexibility in deciding how those funds may be used. The school system will benefit from additional projected sales tax revenue for the general fund and sales tax sinking fund accounts. This fiscal year, the city government will continue to provide $800,000 in loan payments for the THS facility improvements and East Lincoln School. It was $600,000 instead of $800,000. The departments of city government made requests to improve or enhance services that will not be funded. Thanks to excellent financial stewardship, total operating expenditures are up less than 3%. I am pleased there is a 2% cost of living raise for full-time city government employees, as well as a step raise. Also included is the city's share of the Duck River Electric Substation in the Joint Industrial Park. Ever since I can remember, we have appropriated $250,000 annually for permanent street paving. We need to do more to maintain 330 miles of roads in Tullahoma. A drive down many streets will confirm work needs to be done. Paving will be done in all four quadrants of Tullahoma. An additional $50,000 in resurfacing is included in this year's budget. Our 6 new community initiatives are seeing active community engagement. I continue to look for big things from these organizations next year. Get Fit Tullahoma secured $108,000 in 100% grant funding for the Greenway extension, $900,000 over the past 6 years. Get Fit Tullahoma also secured $115,000 in 100% grant funding for the new Silver Street Park. Work on the new park should start soon. Get Fit participants walked the Appalachian Trail. The Tourism Council has been active in distributing goodie bags to employees of 5 welcome centers in an effort to better acquaint them with Tullahoma. The Downtown Council secured $15,000 in grants, and is developing a marketing and branding strategy to better position downtown as an entertainment and dining destination. The Arts Council has been active, making Tullahoma an arts destination by hosting another successful Arts Alive Festival with 40 regional artists and 1,400 attendees. The Go Green Tullahoma effort has been active and successful with another Earth Day Festival, Rock Creek Cleanup, Stormwater Community Meeting, Compost Study, and work to increase recycling with a door-to-door campaign and direct mail piece. The Sports Council hosted the first ever Tullahoma Sports Hall of Fame ceremony and inducted the first 10 members. All of this is designed to enhance the quality of life in Tullahoma. It is also important we design a community to which our young families want to remain, return, or relocate. My research tells me these young families want to live in artsy, green, fitness-oriented communities. I suggest our community initiative next year focus on entrepreneurism. Much of Tullahoma's success over the years is a result of a successful business community, both large and small businesses. I want us as a community to be welcoming and encouraging to entrepreneurs. We need to implement strategies that support entrepreneurs. We need to eliminate barriers. We need to motivate young people to pursue entrepreneurship. We need to embrace entrepreneurship as a core economic development strategy and enhance an entrepreneurial culture. We need to celebrate entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the makers, doers, the hustlers, and the dreamers. They turn ideas into reality and create jobs. I want Tullahoma to become Tennessee's rural entrepreneurial capital and the city of opportunity and innovation. Let's work to create an entrepreneurial ecosystem in Tullahoma. So what has Tullahoma accomplished over the past year? Thanks to the help of many, nearly 97% of Tullahoma citizens are employed. Over 150 companies requested a business license. Retail sales continue to outpace state and national levels. The Greenway was extended. Over 6,550 tons of materials were recycled, 5.3 lane miles were paved, and 217 dogs were adopted. Firefighters have installed 4,000 free smoke alarms to date. We maintained a Class 2 ISO fire protection rating, effectively reducing risk and liability for Tullahoma homeowners and businesses. According to data collected by the TBI for 2018, crime decreased over 3% from the previous year. In the first 6 months of this year, 745 pounds of prescription and over-the-counter drugs have been safely disposed of through the Drug Take-Back program. 71 new single-family homes were constructed. Several high-profile retailers were welcomed to Tullahoma. We saw over $24,500,000 in new construction over the past year. 398 tax relief applications were approved. Tullahoma City Schools had another excellent year with the hiring of a new director and an emphasis on excellence in education, athletics, and arts. Man's best friend now has a new home until they find their forever homes. Tullahoma earned the Tree City designation for the 22nd year in a row. The Storybook Trail opened. North Jackson Streetscape plan that was started. Veterans Memorial at History Park was dedicated. Over 200 recent THS graduates earned millions of dollars in scholarships to technical schools, community colleges, and universities. Over 312 Tullahoma residents walked a total of 56,681 miles together on the Appalachian Trail as part of our Get Fit Tullahoma initiative. TUA replaced over 3,000 street lights with LED lights, which are now more aesthetic and save money and power. TUA also completed the 240 kW solar farm and increased light tube subscriber count by 4% to 3,769 subscribers. Our Tullahoma Airport was one of 3 airports in the U.S. selected by the AOPA to host their 80-year anniversary fly-in. And last but not least, Jennifer Moody was selected as the new city administrator. So what do we have to look forward to over the next 12 months? A new park on East Lincoln Street, an extension of the Greenway, a cleaner and more attractive community, renovated grounds at South Jackson Performing Arts Center, more sidewalks and street paving, a new police station, downtown improvements, and progressing closer to our goal of having 90% of Tullahoma within 1/2 mile of a fitness opportunity. Our chief job as mayor and alderman is to define our vision and inspire the community to help reach that vision. It is critical we keep our eyes on our bold vision for Tullahoma to be considered world class in everything we do. From job creation to cleanliness to high school graduation rates and everything in between, I want Tullahoma to be the best and considered a world-class community. There appears to be a great deal of confidence in Tullahoma, both from citizens already here and from outsiders looking to invest here. And many more exciting things are on the drawing board. By growing Tullahoma, diverse jobs will be created from entry level to the professional level. The opportunities are ours, but we do not wait on opportunities. We want to create opportunities. Much of the positive actions I have presented are by city government and affiliated agencies. There are countless acts of goodwill that quietly happen every day by Tullahoma citizens, businesses, churches, and organizations that truly make a positive difference in the lives of Tullahomans. Thanks everyone for all you do to make Tullahoma a great place to work, live, play, and raise our families. We should all be challenged by three thoughts. Great cities are intentional, not accidental. In other words, we must have a plan and take strategic steps to accomplish our plan. Number two, why can't Tullahoma be the best? Some city is going to be the best. Why not Tullahoma? We should always strive to be the best in everything we do. Number three, if you really love Tullahoma, you have to help make Tullahoma better. We all have opportunities to improve Tullahoma, whether through school, job, civic club, church, neighborhood, or household. Get involved, make a difference. Leave Tullahoma better than when you found it. In summary, Tullahoma is truly a blessed community. We have so much to be thankful for and so much to look forward to. While it truly is a great day to be in Tullahoma, let's always remember we can make a great community even greater. Let's leave Tullahoma better than we found it by the work we do and the decisions we make. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for the City Attorney's Report. Mr. Worsham, please, sir.
I also attended the Tennessee Municipal League convention in Memphis. Mr. Noce was there. I saw him there. My focus was on the Tennessee Municipal Attorneys Association meeting. Had a very good meeting, saw a lot of friends, got a lot of good new ideas. I would say that probably the major thing that we discussed, and I'll report to you later about some other things, was the scooter problem, these mechanized scooters that they have in Nashville. And I'm doing some research. Alderman Dunn asked me to look into that for us here about our dealing with that. There's some thought that maybe the state might step in and regulate it because it's going to be a problem all over the state eventually, although Nashville is the place where at this time it has become quite a nuisance, and Nashville is considering banning them. So I'll keep you all informed about that because we don't have any yet that I know of, and it may be something we don't want to have because we don't have the bicycle paths and the resources here in our town to accommodate them like they already do in some cities. So I'll get that information to you as soon as it becomes available to me. We reported to you last time that the Supreme Court has ruled in our favor and in the favor for the communities that were cities in the liquor by the drink distribution case that we have been dealing with for a number of years, which saved us about $400,000 that we had in our reserves in case we didn't win the case. There's still another matter pending. It's been held in abeyance until the Supreme Court heard the case that has been heard and decided in our favor. That was one that was going to be submitted to arbitration. It was Coffee County versus the City of Tullahoma. I will deal with counsel relative to that. See, hopefully we can get that dismissed and forget about it. But our exposure to it, if we were to lose, and it's highly unlikely that we would, is much less than the others, about $90,000. We're working now, we've about finished the collection of the delinquent taxes for the year 2017, and we've been very successful. We've had a good year in collections. We're now working on the title searches for the long-term tax sale that we're going to be dealing with. So we'll be working with the county on that as well, and the clerk and master of the Chancery Court. So we're commencing that activity now. We're working with planning and codes regarding a dilapidated building on West Lincoln Street, located next to where Clyde Phillips Men's Store used to be. It's a building that's deteriorating rapidly, and we understand that there's some drainage off the top of that building that's affecting the property owner next door. We talked with the property owner about it. The city engineer has conducted an inspection of it and given us a report. We're looking now at the cost estimate to remediate the repairs and things like that, and hopefully we can work a settlement agreement out with the property owner about that pretty soon, and I'll be able to report that to you when that happens. We're working with the Planning and Codes Department relative to dilapidated property in several places around here in town that we're trying to get cleaned up, and we're pretty successful about that. But as soon as we get one piece of property cleaned up, something happens somewhere else, and we have to deal with that. But it's an ongoing thing. But anything that you all can do as aldermen to suggest to people if they're letting garbage and trash accumulate, to not do that or cooperate with us relative to that would be very good. We're working with Public Works regarding the acquisition of some rights of way for sidewalks for the East Lincoln Street sidewalk project now. There's some title work that we need to do because there's some properties are involved in inheritance, so we're dealing with a lot of people rather than just one or two property owners. But that's another thing we're working on now. And we're also working on facilitating the donation of some property by the Harton family to the city of Tullahoma across from the community center at the ballpark down there on Collins Street. So those are the things we're working on now, and thank you. Any
Good
questions?
job. Thank you much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Good job. Mrs. Moody.
Very good. Well, I'll just start by echoing what you all have said about the 4th of July event, and I agree. I was just almost blown away by how incredible of an event it was. I agree with you, just the quality of the vendors that were there, seeing so many families, so many things to do, an incredible fireworks show. And then also just wanted to echo that we had so many partners that, in addition to our city employees that were out there and working long hours, I really appreciated the support from the Coffee County EMS and Coffee County Emergency Management that was there. And some of you probably saw we had some lightning earlier in the evening, and we're kind of watching for rain. Well, behind the scenes, I promise you, they were all over it. I got to see inside the command center, and they'd already been in communication with the National Weather Service and knew exactly how many miles away that lightning strike was. So just those kind of things, they just go above and beyond, I feel like, to make it a safe event for everybody. And so just, it's so special to have that opportunity, to have a free and a safe event like that for the residents. The other thing I wanted to mention to you this week, today I have been, and tomorrow I will be with both representatives of city schools and representatives from Motlow, and we're all kind of participating in discussions about our facilities and planning for the future. Kind of John Carver, the director of schools, I know has been very interested in getting an assessment of all of his facilities to know the state they're in today, but also planning for the future. And he brought in some design professionals that he was familiar with from Iowa. They're really a much more international firm than that. They have 30 locations and 1,200 employees and have done just incredible list of projects. But really, really exciting to just kind of be a fly on the wall and listen to what they're talking about, the changing shape of education and how they're reimagining the environment for learning, and so that it's better matched with what kids are going to be facing, well, when they're no longer kids, when they're out in the workforce. What are the environments like there, and kind of trying to tailor education for this unknown future workplace that they're going to be in with technology that we don't even know about yet. So it's been really interesting, and sort of challenges me too to think about how are we engaging with our citizens in our physical spaces and in our facilities, and what could we be doing to reimagine that and make a better experience for both the employees and for our citizens. So we'll be doing more of that. And then it reminds me to give you an update. This week we've completed the kind of schematic design phase of the police building project. If you'll remember, there's kind of 4 phases. There's schematic design, where you kind of got the building blocks in place, and then we'll go on to preliminary design and develop final plans for the building. Then they'll help us with bidding the project, and last we'll construct it. So I feel like I'm almost at the stage where I can show you the kind of that preliminary design. I'll be taking it to the development committee with Scott St. John this Wednesday, and we'll get feedback from them before we kind of show the plan publicly. But I think it's really 99% there, and it's the site plan, I feel certain, is a better plan than what we had previously. And most of the components inside the building are still there. It's just in a little bit smaller footprint than before. So I'm proud of that. And then last, very focused on reviewing police chief applicants. Their applications are still coming in. I think we've had about 45 applications to date, and we're still accepting applications until July 15th. So that is a little bit what I'm working on.
Good report, thank you. Okay, we're ready for the consent agenda. We have 4 items: 1985 minutes of June 24, 2019 meeting. 1986, approve the purchase of vehicle extrication equipment in the amount of $19,999 from Municipal Equipment Services for the Tacoma Fire Department. 1987, reappoint Jim Waters to the Duck River Utility Commission for a 3-year term. He is eligible and he has agreed to serve if selected. Item number 1988, accept property tax adjustment as presented for taxes paid in fiscal year 2019. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Proper motion by Mr. Mathis, second by Ms. Keene. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green, opposed red. Motion passes 7-0. I know you're all anxious to get to the farmer's market. So I drove by there on the way here, and there were, has anybody driven by and count how many vendors there are tonight?
I didn't count, but all of that
The
parking
whole
area was
space
full
is
today.
full.
Yeah.
The whole space is full.
That's why there's no one here.
Yeah, they're all there.
And they had live music again tonight.
There must be, I would say, 25 vendors-ish, something like that. I don't know. Pretty amazing. Okay, we have one item of old business, ordinance number 1523, an ordinance of the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee, amending the annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2019, for passage on the second of 3 readings.
Motion approved, ordinance number 1523.
Second.
Proper motion, Dr. Blank, seconded by Mr. Duncan. Any discussion? This is sort of is what it is. All those in favor vote green, opposed vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Moody, any other old business you're aware?
No other business.
We have one item of new business, resolution number 1792, a resolution supporting the use of Coffee County hotel tax revenues to promote and enhance tourism in Coffee County, Tennessee. You see that resolution there. We're just basically asking that they direct the funds towards specific uses and then going to the general fund.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Ms. Keene.
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 1792, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Moody?
Do you have any specific way that you would like me to deliver that to our county commissioners?
In a chariot.
I believe the last time we had a resolution, I presented it to the county mayor's office and asked for them to distribute it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that makes sense. Yeah. Here it is right here. Unsignable, sign it.
Okay.
Okay, no other old business. We are adjourned. We're going to the beer board. We have one consent item, 19 BB25 minutes of the June 24th meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Motion by Dr. Blanks, second by Ms. Dunn. All those in favor of the consent agenda for the beer board, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. No other business. We stand adjourned.